right. We are back for more Wuthering Waves. There was some audio issues in the first couple hours of streaming this. And so we had to go back and fix all of those audio issues up, but we have tested it and all of the audio balancing is good now. So hopefully there won't be any more problems that are not induced by the creator themselves, because we noticed quite a bit of jank in our first stream. So we'll see. They had a hotfix, and perhaps there will be even more jank because of that. We finally got our hands on Trisha, my favorite character so far in this game. And I really was not expecting Trisha to have this wonderful double gun setup. The way that she does that jumping shooting, very Lara Croft. If you ever played the old Tomb Raiders, not the terrible remakes that Square Enix did, but the older ones. Wonderful. I love the gun kata that we're getting here.
Rover! It took you so long. What gives? Was our magistrate a chatterbox? So Madam Magistrate's not in the city hall.
The important recap that we had about that conversation is it really got me stuck on the weird ideas that they're placing here. They were talking about how everything is made up of sound in the world. And so that's how we are able to absorb things into the gourds or into ourselves as resonators, is that we are resonating with the sound of the thing that we killed and we're absorbing its strength into us. And since the main character here is able to not be seen as a distortion by the person who has the special eyes that can see distortions, it's really getting theory brain working about what does that mean for us? Are we in fact the only real thing, and this is in essence a sort of matrix reality? That's the thing that's sitting in the back of my head.
The wind is rising. In it, I sense disturbance and unrest. The increasing tacit fields, uncannily powerful tacit discords, and now, our magistrate's absence.
Plus, the mysterious Rover.
I'm afraid.
I cannot believe that they did this Americanized, slow way of saying in it. That was just wow. I know that a lot of the voice actors for this game are actually British, but they're not being allowed to speak in their normal, accents. Because I can't tell that these people are British people. They just sound like, honestly, mostly mediocre American voice actors. So instead of getting their authentic, quality British voice acting, we're getting mediocre American voice acting from Brits.
Well, we've reported to the City Hall, the Ministry of War, and the Academy. We've done everything we can. I mean, this is Huanglong. And we're talking about Jinzhou of all places. We've been through our fair share of unrest over the past 1,000 years, and we've made it together every time. There's been TD outbreaks every year, but we can always trust General Ji Yan, Madam Magistrate, and our Sentinel to have our backs. We're not ones to mess with.
United we stand, a bastion of might. One equals a legion, invulnerable in fight. Well said, Wuxia. Do you have any plans, Rover?
That was such a Chinese axiom.
Fair point. A 3-day vacation it is. Let's go chill out then. We'll figure out the tokens when we have the chance. Ooh, reminds me of the tokens of love in those stories. It sounds like you're off to a secret date or something. What is a soulmate?
So, Madam Magistrate left some hidden clues in her tokens. Clues that only the right person would be able to decipher. But Rover has lost all memories and would likely forget any kind of decryption method they agreed on. It doesn't quite make sense. Or maybe she is trying to make Rover notice something else. Rover, do you mind if we have a look at the tokens?
So, what's so special about them?
This is a mangosteen fruit. Mangosteens are not native to Zhengzhou. They are usually imported by boat. I think we can find more mangosteens being sold at the nearby markets. They're not always available for purchase, though. The frequent tacit discord outbreaks can disrupt transportation and cause shortages. The Midnight Rangers have greatly improved the situation in recent years, but still.
A candy? Oh, I've had these when I was a kid. I think they were called sugar pearls, but I haven't seen anything like this in a while. Went out of trend, maybe.
It reminds me of my childhood. I still remember the taste. It was so sweet. I was really scared of getting my flu shots when I was little. And sometimes the nurse lady would hand out candies like this as a prize for being good. But what does it mean as a token? It seems like a miniature sundial.
I was gonna say like a dreidel.
It is a horological device that tells time by using sunlight's direction.
Oh, what now?
Sundials in Huanglong usually have marked lines for the 12 shichuns in a day, and every shichun is 2 hours long, with some showing seasons or months. The design of this sundial looks a bit unusual, though. On this sundial, time seems to be represented by the 12 earthly branches, drawn on the outer ring of its surface, and its inner ring shows the 4 symbols, each representing one cardinal direction. These are the 4 famous auspicious beasts in Huanglong's folklore. They are believed to protect people from all 4 directions under heaven. Generally, the teal long represents the east, the white tiger stands for the west, the vermilion bird stands for the south, and finally, we have the black tortoise for the north.
So is the teal long boy a snake?
It's supposed to show both time and direction. But how could it work when there is not a compass attached? Not to mention, the lack of sunlight basically renders it useless.
Ugh, that requires way too much brain power.
I'm not even gonna look at the leaf. I understand less the more that we play here. I don't know about you, but everything on here is
So
way too
Wuxia and I
Chinese.
share similar childhood memories of the sugar pearl. Do you remember it too, Rover?
When it comes to candies, no one knows them better than the kids of Jinzhou.
Have you seen this candy before, little kids? After a tense moment of silence, the little girl seems to finally made up her mind about a great sacrifice. She offers you her hand and a small piece of candy.
I don't have candy like that. But I've got this. It's really good. You can have one.
You can hear a lot more Britishness in the kid, so that the voice actress just cannot do British, American, and child all at the same time. But it was weird how, like the first few lines were not voice acted, and then suddenly, wham, voice acting. I'm used to either all or no voice acting within a dialogue sequence.
Madam Magistrate said we should be nice to every guest.
There's still some distance to the Huashu Academy. Let's see who reaches there faster. Yang Yang just installed some apps for you, remember? Just look for the one that's called Utilities on the terminal.
So we got our grappling hook now.
See? Just open the util. See?
No, no. Oh. There we go.
See? Just open the utilities, select the grapple, and there you go. If you want to be a hero like the Jinzhou Speedster, you gotta master the grapple. Come on, give it a shot, Rover.
That'll take a moment. There has to be more than just one treasure chest up here.
Oh, please have something good this time.
Let's see, what is this tactical thing? After activation, reach the finish line or collect a certain amount of target points. So, it's basically a race. Where are we racing to? Up there? We cannot climb these. Every other wall in the entire city was climbable except for this. So, let's see. Oh, there we go. No, it's not enough height. All right. Oh. There we go. No. Almost got it. That was actually a really interesting sort of puzzle. I was not expecting any sort of jumping puzzles in this sort of game.
Lucky me, lucky you.
There we go.
Oh, wait a sec. Someone's looking for me. Yeah? What? When did he disappear?
She's talking to the cat,
it's
apparently.
All right. I'll be right there. Duty calls. Oops. Almost forgot. Can't be late. Sorry, Rover, Yang Yang. I've got to head off for my shift. I'll join you right after I'm done, all right? If you need me, just shout my name. And I, the Jinzhou Speedster, will be there in a sec.
Ma Jiaofang?
Stop! Stop! Don't call me that. Anyway, I gotta go. You guys okay on your own? Give me a heads up when there's any updates.
Sure, go do your thing. Don't worry, I'm staying with him. Rover, let's go inside.
Him? They're definitely talking to the cat. Because I know him. I don't have any cat food. Oh, look at that precious baby. Let's actually nab this first. Never know, the cutscene's gonna junt you off somewhere else. Ooh, a synthesizer. So you can craft your own weapon XP in here. That's nice to know. Might as well get some of that.
Replied to my message. She's probably busy in her lab. Over there must be Mr. Mortifi from the Department of Safety. Baizhi once mentioned him before. He might be able to help us get in touch with Baizhi, but, it seems we've caught him at a bad time.
Finally, we have an actual male character in this game. Also,
Well,
I am definitely voting on siblings here.
make your feedback specific.
Anyway, let's try asking him, shall we?
What? You need something? I refuse to tolerate the foolish striving of those insatiable slugs. Since it's difficult for our research to deal with a man like him, I'd rather handle it personally and swiftly. And you are?
Mr. Mortifi, please pardon our intrusion. We are friends of Baizhi, and we're here to look for her.
I see. I hope I didn't cause any offense earlier.
Not at all. It was us who bothered you.
Baizhi should be in the data analysis room. I'll go tell her you're here.
Thank you, sir. This is Mortifi, a renowned figure in the Department of Safety. He was born in the new Federation, and he joined the Huashu Academy a few years ago. I heard his talent is truly impressive. People say he's a bit scary at first glance, but he's actually quite kind-hearted once you get to know him. Shizia told me he's quite popular with the kids. Children have been pestering him for all kinds of fancy toys, and he's always open to their requests.
Oh, they did not space that out properly at all.
Another
Considering
day, another heroic me.
you are only walking literally 5 feet.
Here you are. The data we collected in the Gorges of Spirits has been submitted for analysis, and we'll have the results today. I have the equipment for your physical examinations ready too. Any discoveries during your trip to the City Hall?
What do you think, Baizhi?
I have a hypothesis about the sugar pearl, but I need to verify it first. If possible, I recommend conducting non-destructive tests of all these tokens you have. Data is always straightforward. The first 3 tokens can be tested at my branch's laboratory. This miniature sundial will require radiographic testing, though. To access the necessary equipment, we'll need to file a request with one of the Tacitite Studies-related branches. Indeed. One moment, please.
Give me the items to be tested. Anything else you need me to know, you can let me know now. You may retrieve your items in 20 minutes, and the analysis report will be ready 5 minutes after that. Take a right, and you'll find me in the testing room.
That's some damn quick testing. You send anything else off to a lab in this day and age, it'll take you weeks.
I don't see anything special with these items. Speaking of the sugar pearl, you all remember eating sugar pearls like this when you were kids? I don't think I've ever had anything like this in my childhood. No, I'm from the New Federation. You mean the sugar pearl might be unique to Huanglong?
I remember a nurse lady giving me a candy like that.
So, sugar pearls like this were distributed at hospitals, perhaps.
The sugar pearl might be a type of medicine. Its sweet taste would have made it more palatable to children.
Miss Baija, as a Huanglong local working at the academy, I suppose you already had an idea about what it is?
I do have my theory as to what it is, but it still needs verification. I wouldn't proclaim any solid answers before confirming the chemical composition of this item with reliable data.
Seconded. Let's find out through actual testing then.
It will take some time before the results are ready. If you have other matters to take care of, you should go ahead. I'll let you know once we have the results.
Shall we wait here at the academy, Rover?
Sure you can. But don't forget your physical examination. I'll see you in a while for that.
We
I have
exited the
equipment
conversation
ready.
to enter.
I'll need to check your health status and see if there are any unusual fluctuations. Now let's begin, if you're ready. Do you have any questions before we begin? When a tacit discord is eliminated, its frequency energy may linger in the form of an incorporeal manifestation, which is known as a reverberation. A resonator's terminal collects and records said reverberations, turning them into echoes that can be directed as desired. The compatibilities of these echoes can then be replicated through the terminal's databank module, enabling resonators to use them in battles. Additionally, some echoes' abilities allow resonators to briefly transform into their shapes.
See, especially with that transformation, when we use the abilities, you take on the same model as the enemy model. But it's not just some special, like, projection field. They're not projecting a hologram for it. It's not special effects. They're taking on the form. This is showing more and more about how all of the non-corporeal beings, including all of these people who are not the main character, are sound people. Really weird concept here.
Yes, to some extent. Now let's begin, if you're ready. Can you try to manifest the Crownless's frequency without using your terminal? I am not seeing the Crownless's data in your terminal. So it was indeed absorbed into your body. The Crownless's frequency energy was consumed by your body, leaving no trace behind. But how did you manage to do that? It's as though there's another mechanism within your body capable of absorbing frequency energy. How do you define monster? For resonators like you, such abnormal fluctuations in frequency typically lead to overclocking.
Apparently I'm a GPU as well.
When a resonator's mental capacity is overwhelmed, they may lose control of their forte, causing an overflow of resonance energy. We have established a comprehensive overclock diagnosis process to accurately predict potential risks of overclocking. Your waveform graph shows a remarkable level of stability, surpassing any resonator I've encountered. Your risk of overclocking should be minimal. You don't need to worry about that for the time being. To put it simply, it seems there is another dimension or a creature hiding inside your body.
So working off of my sound creature thing that I'm going with here, it feels like overclocking is the act of taking powerful frequencies into you through the gore, the terminals that they normally have. And by doing so, it disrupts your own frequency. But because I am not a sound person, I'm a very stable, real person, unlike all of these people, then I don't have to worry about that overclocking.
I use that as a metaphor to express my speculation. If such a thing existed within you, Scientists would be eagerly seeking to understand it. There are so many mysteries about you worth exploring. It seems we need a simulated combat to figure out what happened in your body. Please hold your terminal tight and stay still. Means simulated training ground. Don't worry, Yang Yang and I will assist you. Please fight the simulated tacit discords like you normally would.
This is a weird weapon.
Transmitting frequency.
So unlike everyone else, she is just a Pokemon trainer.
Disperse.
Her damage is much lower than the other characters.
One with the sound.
Synchronization.
As Yotan had previously detected, your bodily functions are in good condition, and you seem entirely unaffected by the Crownless's energy. Now, we will temporarily boost your resonance ability for further testing.
I sense your weakness. One more time. One with the sounds. The hour is upon us.
Leave it to me. Not the slightest fluctuation in your frequency energy. So it was not your resonance ability either. I suppose we'll do another round to fully test your potential.
Let me be your blade.
Precipitant!
Speeding up. Synchronization.
Hey! Hi! Shape the shapeless!
Swift and resolute. Ha! 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 One with the sounds.
Let me be your blade.
We have gathered all the data we need. The test is ending soon. Rover, you can find the exit straight up ahead.
Rover, can you hear me? Hello?
The comm line is dead. Something's wrong. Gotta be cautious. Now, where is the exit?
Everything is going fucky wucky, chat.
I'm back to the same spot again. And this moon. What is happening? Are those tacit discords?
Spoopy.
Rover! Rover! Thank goodness. You're awake, Baiju. What happened just now? The connection was suddenly cut off.
Rover, do you still remember what you saw?
Mommy.
Can you give us some more details?
I did not see a scythe. I just saw a bunch of hands and a really pretty design. Bring that one back.
A giant tacit discord with a scythe. It doesn't sound like the crownless. Might be even higher ranked. This is the first time we've run into anything like this since we put the training ground into use. The sonorosphere captures everything that once happened in a specific time and place, be it good or bad. We built this simulated training ground after the structure of sonorospheres. Our goal was to extract pure remnant energy with the simulated sonorosphere. But we cannot guarantee that all abnormal frequencies were eliminated. Your arrival may have revived the abnormal frequencies we accidentally captured. Remnant energy sometimes gives rise to memory manifestations of sentient beings. You may have encountered one such manifestation. I suspect it could have something to do with your unconscious mind. Such anomalies could have been hiding in the simulation, and they resonated with your subconscious. Or perhaps they were lifted from your subconscious in the first place. I'm afraid I can't give you a conclusion yet. Not until we've run a thorough analysis on the data collected. I'll also check the simulated sonorosphere again to see what on earth happened to it. In terms of bodily functions, you seem to be in perfect health. In fact, all the data look quite good, but if you feel anything unusual, please come find me anytime.
Convene. Resonate with various resonators and weapons through convene is an efficient way to meet. Alright, so convene is the gotcha. No, don't make me use one. I hate single summons.
I am Baizhi, a researcher at the Huashu Academy.
All
Let
right.
me witness where this encounter will take us.
I have a feeling that it had to be Baizhu. The afterglow. So, nice to know that we got an afterglow with Baizhu. Glacio. You know, I'm not liking Baizhu from the little bit of a use with her. I understand she is probably some sort of healer. She only did do a self-heal on herself, but there might be a way to tuck it into healing the rest of the party. But her summon Pokemon attack was so clunky. Everyone else is fluid, but she has a very clunky attack. Oh, this is a pretty one. So here's our first gotcha guy, Gion. All redheads down here. Look at that. All redheads on the summon sphere. Oh, great. It's wonderful that we get the novice one. How many of these do we have? So we have 5 10-pulls in total. We're going to hold on to that for the moment. Do not replace my good girl with this.
Yotan and I will ensure your safety.
Yeah, you and Johan can just go
Save
away.
the day.
Best girl stays in party.
Here's your sundial, intact as it was.
Mr. Mortifi, can we have the test results?
Simply put, it's hollow. Here, try tapping on it. It sounds different from a solid object. It's not just a timekeeping tool. It's an intricate mortise and tenon puzzle box. This sundial is hollow with an inner compartment. We've scanned it, and there is a small paper scroll inside. However, it's missing a crucial component. We should be able to spin the wheels on the sundial once the right component is installed. I have some basic knowledge, but there is someone else who is more knowledgeable in automata mechanics than I am. It wouldn't have taken me this long if we were dealing with tacitite weapons. Install the missing part, then rotate the wheels to their correct positions, and you should be able to solve the puzzle and access the paper scroll. However, I still have no idea what the missing component should look like.
Why can't we just, take the thing, smash it against the desk right there, and then once we break it open, we can pull out the scroll? That sounds way faster.
No need to ask him. I can help you with this. I just need some time to think it over. One moment. I have an incoming call. What is it? You certainly are well informed. It's indeed beautiful data. Good taste. Well, since you've put it that way.
Rover, Mr. Mortifi's expression seems to have softened, don't you think?
Fur and kitty, so pretty. I don't know, Mr. Mortifer is definitely a nice, pretty guy. I would like to have him on the team since we do not have enough husbandos.
We haven't even asked him to help us with assembling. It looks like Mr. Mortifi needs more time. Maybe we should give him some space to concentrate. Rover, let's come back later, shall we?
Let's come back later. And once again, the conversation is immediately here. Because it just says, walk around and do his other stuff, or talk to him.
Yes, of course. I've already noticed all that you mentioned. Indeed, you just pointed out a blind spot in my thinking. Your workshop? That hellish place? Stop sweet-talking me. I get it. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Let's get back to the sundial. It's a mortise and tenon-based puzzle box. The missing component in the middle needs to fulfill two entirely different structural requirements at the same time. Considering its entire structure, this component needs an automatic buckle that goes down on top of an embedded pointer. I'll draw up a design for you. The parts you'll need can be found in Jiang Li's workshop. I've already informed him about it. You'll only need to go fetch the parts in his place. He keeps...
Mr. Mortifi? Is that the person you were talking to earlier? Mr. Xiang Liao, I think?
Yes. It doesn't take me much effort to figure out this little sundial here. But I do admit talking with Jiang Li made it easier. He's the expert in automata mechanics I mentioned earlier. The only principal investigator we currently have.
Thankfully, they are right here.
I mentally prepared myself for the worst, but this place looks much better better than Mr. Mortify's description, though it is a bit hard to figure out where we should start.
I like that one of the dystopian line cameras is just sitting right there, staring in at this little workshop. How do they even get this little car inside of here? You see a shelf filled with an assortment of research materials and books. Feasibility report on cooking tacit discords. The shelf creaks under your hand. You try to steady it, but it is too late. A wooden block falls squarely onto your foot. It's a critical hit!
Rover!
I actually lost HP. Wow. Talk about cutscene damage. The unusual device has a complex structure and a groove that can fit an entire arm. It's cold to the touch, and as you press your arm into it, you feel something sharp and felt a slight pang of pain. Why would you stick your arm into a random hole?
Rover? Please don't touch that. It's dangerous.
I took damage again! I don't even want to touch that one, because it's not yellow.
This should be it. It's quite a box full.
Is it going to be a box full of pain?
Let's go back and show it to Mr. Mortify.
Oh, screw it. I need to touch it. I need to. On the table, there was a photo album neatly placed. It seemed like it was frequently leafed through, as the cover was slightly curved. A single photograph lay inside, seemingly cut from a newspaper. It depicts a woman in white coat gazing at an infant, her face hidden from view by the angle. The paper looks well
Rover.
kept.
I don't think we'll find what we need here.
Oh, thankfully it did not deal any damage. But let's see, is there a hidden chest? No. No hidden chests over here either.
Mr. Mortify, we found the parts.
Good. Bring it to me.
The test results are in. The mangosteen is just an ordinary fruit. It's suitable for regular consumption. We found nothing unusual about it. From the purple leaf you presented, I detected subtle fluctuations in tacit discord's frequency from two distinct sources, but they were overlapping and difficult to distinguish. This is a rare occurrence. The scattered nature of these fluctuations rules out the possibility of them being left behind through contact. This is not an ordinary leaf, but it doesn't seem to be a tacit discord either. Based on the data we gathered, I believe it was sampled from an area struck with the wave-worn phenomena.
Yes, the anomalies that occurred after the lament, including the formation of tacit fields, etheric sea, retroact rain, and gravity loss. These are collectively called the wave-worn phenomena. And the lament was the start of it all.
As for the sugar pearl, it has been determined to be a type of oral vaccine. This sugar pearl expired over 20 years ago. The low-temperature storage life for this vaccine is about 2 years.
A 20-year-old vaccine. Could it be related to the children's epidemic in Zhengzhou 2 decades ago?
The archives in the Academy should have information on the sugar pearl. The archives here are organized in a unique way. You can start by searching the keywords at the lobby terminal.
Mr. Mortivy?
The missing pointer has been installed, and now the sundial should be complete.
So, the discs are rotatable now.
Yes. Align the correct markers with the pointer we just installed, and then you should be able to open it.
The earthly branches and 4 symbols. These symbols are related to the sexagenary cycle. It's an intricate way of recording time in Huanglong. Nowadays, it is mainly reserved for calendars, numerology, and indexing, but it's falling out of daily use now. What kind of information could it represent?
It's the filing system. Most of Huanglong's libraries and databases still use this method to organize their archives, namely the Grand Libraries.
Yes, the large data repositories located in Huanglong's major cities.
The Academy's public archives are organized in this manner too.
All right, now we got the weird little sundial.
I found it. It's located on the way shelf.
I'm glad someone did, because I was not going to find it.
Mao Cheng Si Wu Wei.
Archive, the first resonator. Resonator beep reports amnesia regarding the resonance ability. With no clear time of waking, a tacit mark is present on their right hand. No visible post-awakening physical alterations. Their tacit mark and pupils display a golden halo when they exert their forte. Resonance spectrum tests show strong syntony with multiple patterns. The cause of resonator beep awakening remains inconclusive. Further examination is needed to determine the origins of their resonance ability. Analysis of test samples have revealed a non-convergent Ray-Bell's curve with a noticeable periodic waveform, which classifies beep as a congenital resonator. Oh my god. This game hits you with so much terminology. If it isn't a bunch of Chinese concepts that, as a non-Chinese person, I do not have cultural familiarity with, they're hitting you with just jargon. And it is so hard to keep track and understand it as they sit you with what is literally dozens of jargon here in the early game.
If I remember correctly, Zhenzhou was established during a year of Wei, several cycles ago. The Zhenzhou City Hall and Huashu Academy were built in the same year. The Gorges of Spirits battle sparked Zhenzhou's founding. And the formidable tacit discord described here? I believe it is the Crownless.
Archive, Sugar Pearl Vaccine and Tacit Discord Outbreak. Abstract. Nova Fey is an acute infectious disease with no effective treatment, primarily affecting children under 6 years old. It is highly contagious, with severe symptoms including fever, limb pain, and muscle atrophy. To combat this disease, a live attenuated vaccine has been developed and successfully passed Phase 3 clinical trials on June 16th at 3 p.m. I gotta say, they had an outbreak over here, and they actually went through real clinical trials. Unlike, a certain thing. The medical section established a specialized team for this vaccine's development. This review aims to analyze the research progress of the vaccine and provide valuable insight for further studies. Results have shown promising immunization outcomes, blah, 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 blah. So the thing here that I'm really taking away from this is that another character, I think it was Trisha, said that the outbreak was 20 years ago, and this is only for children who are under 6 years old. Which means every single one of these characters here are hags. This is Hag Connect.
There are 2 photos here.
One photo shows a group of researchers led by a woman in... Oh, the other photo shows an infant in diapers with slender hand holding a spoon with a sugar pearl in it, directed towards the infant.
Rover, about the sugar pearl. Life has never been easy after the lament. But I still remember that sweetness from my childhood. The battle against that epidemic in Jinzhou was grueling. Once infected, children either died or suffered lifelong disabilities, resonators or not. With tacit discords ravaging Jinzhou and severing all communication with other cities, desperation ran high. Words are not enough to convey how desperate people must have felt. They resorted to self-experimentation with a newly developed vaccine, risking everything for a chance. We owe our presence here to those who came before us. It's important to remember their sacrifices. If the sugar pearl points to the information and reports we have just read, what is Madam Magistrate trying to convey? Is it related to your past? Or is it... But you are not from Jinzhou. Maybe the place you came from had a similar situation. With this thought, perhaps, the reports about the sugar pearl are just one part of the clues. The other part about your past and memories is hidden in the documents on the way shelf. What do you think, Rover, about the sugar pearl?
So definitely this confirms that everyone here, because they were all children during the outbreak some 20 plus years ago, are all hags. We only have hag women to collect in this game.
What do you think, Rover?
Let's look back on what we've gathered so far. Our clues point to the sugar pearl as a key in solving the sundial's puzzle. Simply put, one token can lead to multiple targets, and one target may hold several pieces of information. We both had a reason for meeting. The magistrate had information to share, while I had questions to ask. However, her tokens contain both what she wants to tell me and what I want to ask her, making it maybe she was running out of time. That's why she could only offer us scraps of the puzzle, instead of actually putting it together. Or perhaps she's indeed a master strategist, leaving breadcrumbs for us to follow. The initial clues may simply be a test to... She needed to ensure that those who may come across these tokens without understanding their true meaning would not be able to use them for access. If it were you, Yang Yang, what would you do to make sure the recipient gets what you mean?
I would emphasize my true message by repeating it again and again.
I'm back! I'm back! Finally done with my patrol. How's it going, Rover? Feeling spry as ever?
I mean, apparently I am quite an old hag, but then, so is Trisha here.
Baiju said he is in great health. No issues to report. We made some progress in investigating the tokens, too.
Nothing special. A typical patrol. Well, Uncle Chang's cat climbed a tree, and on its way down, it landed on Uncle Chempi's head, causing him to take a tumble. Some dogs kept barking and have been scaring the passers-by, so I went there to calm them down. I received a report about someone going missing. I just logged the case and talked to the person who reported it. You're not the one they're searching for, though. Anyhow, I need to visit the person who reported the case tomorrow. Oh, I also tried searching for Rover's terminal number, but the system came up with nothing. The latest record was from today when I took Rover for registration. That's pretty much the update for now. It's the middle of the night. Course you're hungry. All right, I still owe you a meal. The night markets are closed, though. Let's grab breakfast at Panhua's restaurant tomorrow before my shift. Meet you guys there in the morning. Be there or be square.
Do you have a place to stay, Rover?
Yeah, they are footing the bill for a 5-star at City Hall. It feels good to be the VIP of the city.
Talk about hospitality. Boy, I wonder what it's like to live in the City Hall. All right, enough chatter or the sun's gonna come up. Let's get Rover back to the City Hall, and we'll leave the rest till tomorrow.
Evil is following.